Okay, so make sure you know these facts. Triangle sum 180, right triangle, acute angles are complementary, especially equal angular 60. You're going to have 2 to 3 where you're finding just the angles, so adding up and subtracting from 180. 3 is, I'm pretty much going to give you that same diagram. I'm just going to change the numbers up. Okay, so you're going to have some overlapping triangles. Make sure you can separate them and find that missing angle and then plug it into the one in the inside. And you're going to have 2 problems with algebra using the triangle sum. So number 4 and number 5 are similar. Okay. Again, you should be using triangle sum. So what equation could I write here? Because this one is like number 4. Yeah, add them up. Sorry, let's make them equal to 180. Is my thing gonna work? My pen's not working. Okay, so this is like number 4. So if you take the 8x, add up the 2, the 60, and the 70, that's going to give you plus 132 equals 180. And then you're solving for x. So you will get points for setting it up and showing the equation, and then points for showing your work and getting your x here. Does anyone get x here? 6. Yeah, it's 6. On number 6, because, oh, that's why. Because, let's see what does it. There it goes. Yeah, because they tell you the 38 and 38 is equal, we have an isosceles, which means that you also have, I don't have congruent. There's a tick mark, and that's one over here. It's not clicking. There you go. You have congruent, 2 congruent sides. So your isosceles triangle has 2 congruent angles and 2 congruent sides. So I'm going to use the sides. Sorry. Your setup should be 8x plus 32 equals 11x minus 13. Solve for x. All right. The next section is using your exterior angle theorem. So you need to know these facts. Your exterior angle theorem states that an exterior angle is equal to the sum of the remote interior. So you know you have to identify the one that's exterior, and you have to identify the one that's the remote interior. The third angle theorem just states that if I have 2 angles of one triangle congruent to 2 angles of another, then the third angle is also congruent. So if I know 2 are equal, then the third is going to be equal as well, because 3 angles make up a triangle. So what I'm trying to give you hints on is the exterior angles are my red angles here that I'm pointing the arrows on the outside of the triangle. They want you to name 3 interior angles because it's a triangle here. I can't just use one letter because that could be more than one angle. So I'm starting off with BAC. That is the angle that's the 39 degrees. Okay, so I don't need the degrees, I need the name. So I'm starting off with the one that's 39 degrees. Then I'm going to go to angle ABC. That's the one we don't have the degree measure, but we could find it by just adding the 2 angles and subtracting from 180. And then you should have angle BCA. That's the one that's 23 degrees. Your exterior angles, those are the angles on the outside. I'm pointing to one right now. You need the 3 letters, so this would be E to A to B, or you can say to D. What would be the other exterior angle? ECF. Angle, which one? ECF. Yep, ECF or ACF, yep, that's over here where the C is. And the third exterior angle? DBF. Yeah, DBF or DBC. Either one. So you're just gonna have to be able to read them off a diagram, because that's gonna be sorry, D B F. And then your remote interior angles of EAB. So they want you to focus on this angle here. And the remote interior cannot be the 39. It has to be the one not adjacent. So that would be angles ABC and angles BCA. So make sure you can read the angles or find those angles off of a diagram. You will have a problem asking to find angle measures using remote exterior. So I could basically on the test, it would probably be a question, instead of having 3 triangles, you probably have maybe just one, like something asking finding angle 1. So what could you do if I needed you just to find angle 1? Because it's an exterior angle.
You add up the 80 and 60.
Yep, add up the 80 and 60. So this is 140. Now I can use that to get to my angle 2 because it is a linear pair, 1 and 2. So it's 40, done. I can do the same thing to get to my angle 4 because it is also a linear pair. So you just do 180 minus 105. So angle 4 would have to be, Yep, 75. And now I got another exterior angle for angle 5. I can use the remote, the 40, and the 75. 115, yes. And don't forget vertical angles. So now to get your angle 3, you can use the triangle. So I'll let you finish this one. So you're definitely going to have to find missing angles using exterior angles. I think there's 1 or 2 problems. I would star number 15. Let me get to that. Number 15 is the test light question. 15 and 16 because they're both exterior angle. So you need to start off recognizing that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the remote interior angles. So that means the 151 minus 2x is equal to the sum of the 6x plus 3 plus 84. And then you're solving for x. So you're definitely going to see one like that. You'll get a point or 2 points, and I think it's a point for setting up the equation. Then it's like 3 points for work, and then solving for x.
3 points for work?
Mm-hmm. So 15 and 16 are the same. Make sure you know your parts to an isosceles triangle. So at the top, that's your vertex angle, where they're showing you the 2 tick marks here. That's the legs. And then here, across from the legs, are your base angles, which are congruent.
That's right away. You should remind me tomorrow that work is 3 points.
Remind tomorrow about work.
The work is 3 points.
Will do. All right. Make sure you can classify. So there are 3 questions on just classifying triangles. So there's no really work. You just have to show you know the term and you can identify it on a diagram. So make sure you know what a scalene triangle. That means you have no congruent sides. Isosceles has 2 congruent. Equilateral has 3 congruent. So if you're looking at the sides for triangle EGF, if I just trace E to G to F, I see these tick marks here at 13. That's 1 tick mark. So this 1 tick mark would also be 13. And then I see 2 tick marks that have a 20. So over here, I should probably make that red. So over here, there's 2 tick marks, so that would also be 20. So on EGF, it just has 2 tick marks. So hopefully you recognize that that's isosceles. To do triangle DEF, if I just trace the letters from D to E to F, here's D to E to F. 14, 13, and 12 has no sides congruent. So this would have to be scaling. And then for DFG, D to F to G, that's the whole triangle. And again, we have 2 sides that are congruent. So this last one was also isosceles. All right, on these for 21 through 24, the values change each problem. Don't think the 50 is going to stay here. So like on this first one, they're telling you that angle 1 is 50 degrees. If this is 50, find angle 4. Well, because this is an isosceles, angle 3 is also 50, which means angle 4 is just 180 minus 50, which is 130. I'm going to go over 24 because that does not have a numeric value. It's just an expression here. So if I know that angle 3 is an x degree, some number of degrees, so I'm just going to put an x here. Well, that means that 2 would also be an x. So to get angle 5, which is the vertex angle, you would have to do 180 minus 2x, because those 2 angles are the same. To get angle 1, which is a linear pair, what angle 2 is just 180 minus x. All right, so from here, you're going to have to do problem solving with isosceles and equilateral triangles. Finding missing angles. If I show you 2 sides congruent with tick marks, then you should know that this angle is also 44. And now you should be able to get to this missing angle, which will help you get to ACB. ACB is here, which is vertical to that angle. So you're just taking 180 minus 2 times 44, which is 88. So hopefully you got 97. I mean 92, sorry. So again, this is a isosceles triangle with those 2 tick marks. So to find angle P and angle R, you have to do 180 minus 76 and then divide it by 2. Half of 104 is 52. So if that's 52 for angle R, it is vertical. That means I have a 52 there. They want you to find angle T, which is congruent to angle S, because you have another isosceles triangle. The other thing you're going to need to be able to do is algebra with isosceles triangles. So I know it's isosceles because it's 2 tick marks, which means angle X is congruent to angle Y. Those are the base angles. So you should set this up with 6x minus 13 equals 2x plus 11. Solve for x, then plug it in to get the y. So I'll get you started, but you're going to finish these on your own. Now on 28, again, it's isosceles. So if they gave me r is x, that would be the same thing for t. To solve this, we're adding up all our x's. So this would be 6x equals 180. I would start 29 and 30. And then 27 and 26 are the test-like questions of the isosceles. 29 and 30 are with equilateral triangles. So hopefully you knew that each of those angles was 60, which means your equation here would be 3x plus 12 equals 60. Since they're telling me each of these angles are congruent, hopefully you know that all of the sides are congruent. So that means you can set this one up as 5x plus 5 equals 3x plus 21. You have to solve for x and then plug it back in to get the AC. All you got to do is plug it into each one, either one, because all of the 3 sides are the same. So it doesn't matter which one you plug it into. All right, and then the last section of the test, oops, did I missed it? It's down here, sorry. Is your triangle inequality theorem. So, oops, I probably should do yellow. And ordering sides and angles. So, basically, that's that blue foldable we ended with. In a triangle, the longest side is always opposite the longest angle. To find the third side, you have to find the shorter and the longer of the 2 numbers. So it has to be shorter than the max. The max here would be adding the 2. So you would get 19. And then longer than the minimum. The minimum is subtracting the 2, and you would get 9. So hopefully, on the last one, if the 2 sides are 3 and 7, it would have to be shorter than 10, but longer than 4. Yep. All right, so of your triangle inequality questions, you will have one, I guess, circle 32. 33 and 34, those are the test-like. To order from smallest to largest, you find the smallest value, right here is 43.4, and you look opposite, always across to get the answer. So the smallest angle is angle L, then it would be angle K, then angle M. To find the shortest sides to the longest side, you need all 3 angles. So this one has to be 42 because it's a right triangle. It means I and T are complementary, sum of 90. 42 is the smallest angle, so you look opposite, and PT would be the smallest side. Then you look opposite 48, that would be PI. And then opposite the 90 is IT. That's a fact. You just got to know how to do. Looking opposite. So 33, I said this was a test-like. So this has previous skills using perimeter and writing equations. So you're first going to have to find x. Says find the value of x, then list the angles in order from greatest to least. because they tell me the perimeter of this triangle going around the triangle is 72, then you should be adding up. I don't think it's on here. Yeah, there it is. Adding up all the sides to get 10x plus 22 equals 72. So then you should solve for x. Anyone get x yet? Yeah, x is 5. Now that you have that it's 5, you have to plug it back in. So that's like, I don't think I have it written here. No, I don't. So that's like saying 3 times 5 plus 18. Let me fix this font. Well, 15 and 18, that's going to give me 33 here. 20 minus 8 is going to give me 12. 15 and 12, going to give me 27. And now to order them from greatest to least, you go opposite. This is the biggest number. I'll look across. It's going to start off with angle R. Then it should go across to angle F. And then the last one is angle D. So to order the sides, you have to find the x first. Because they gave you the interior angles, you should add these up and make it equal 180. This was just like number 4 and number 5 earlier. So I'm not going to do this. If you need help, look at like number 4 and 5. All right, so to determine, tell whether a triangle can have sides with the given lengths. There's at least 2 questions like this. To do this, you have to add the 2 smaller sides, so 4 and 7, and make sure it's bigger than the third side. 11 is bigger than 10, so this was a triangle. For 37, you had to plug in the m equals 3 for each of these expressions. So 3 goes in for the m for each of these. When you do that, you get 3 plus 11, which is 14, 8 times 3, which is 24, and 3 squared, which is 9, plus 1 is 10. The 2 smaller ones that you add would be the 14 and 10. 24 is not bigger than 24. So this is a no. Your range of the third side should be an inequality. That inequality should always be the min, which is less than x, which is less to the max. To get the minimum number, what do we have to do with the 2 numbers?
We have to subtract.
Yeah, subtract. So 12 minus 5, that gives me 7. So 7 is less than x. To get the max number, what do we do with the 2 numbers? Add them. Yes, so it's less than 17. And this is what you write as your answer. The range of those numbers as an inequality. All right, the flashcards have already been sent out. I'm gonna give you time to finish. Like I said, this is due on the day of the test. If it's already done before, I'll stamp it for bonus points. If you're done.